Hello, my name is Alex Smith. This is my project 4. Uh, this one was a pretty cool one. I liked the applications of Mario and all the other stuff. I just thought that was pretty neat. And this is kind of what I had in mind when I signed up for the class. But anyway, when it came to building all of this to make it function, I found that the index-based and the row-based were very similar. My functions for them are similar, but the row based I felt was actually an easier to wrap my head around than index based. This one here is my function to evaluate the fitness. Everything else was very just kind of fill in the blank. The only parts I felt that were really challenging were this portion here, which was kind of coming up with the is it good, is it not function. Um, because a lot of this other stuff like this was provided pretty much in the tutorial. Pretty straightforward stuff. But just breaking down my function real quick here. My methodology when I was thinking of this was basically I'm looking at a graph of sorts, kind of like an XY deal. How can I apply that to this? And so kind of using that 133, remembering all the graphics programming stuff. Uh, I was able to apply some of those kind of concepts into making a list of numbers into a coordinate graph based off that kind of stuff. Uh, so I kind of start here by setting my x1, my y1, and then using a nested for loop, I go through and set x2, y2. These are the two components that are the 2 points that are being compared pretty much. Uh, and then once if the x1 ever matches the x2, or if the y1 ever matches the y2, or if the sum of the total of the x1 y1 x2 plus y2 x1 minus, these are for, I'm not going to just repeat them all, but this is for checking your diagonals pretty much. uh, that would increase the conflict or the fitness. And then, and over here, that when you got the return for the check duplicate. If there was a duplicate, basically, I used a set to, I converted the list to a set, which sets don't allow for any non-unique numbers. It only allows for unique numbers. Let me rephrase that. And so if this was the same size, perfect. There weren't any duplicates. It would return nothing. If these weren't the same size, I just had it return the difference and then multiplied that difference by 50. So that way the fitness would be way off for this one, which you could see, I think, causes some spikes at certain points. Uh, I think actually I might have been playing around with some stuff. I might have something turned way up. Yeah. Something I did notice was that if you turn up the amount in your population, you actually can solve things much easier. There's a better chance of it actually getting solved. That being said, it does take more time. When I was playing with the mutations and the mates and stuff, it obviously would cause wild fluctuations. The index based had the most spikes in it when I was testing those, compared to row based. Row based, which is very similar here, tended to really actually follow its minimums much closer, whereas row based, as you can see, was very, this is the minimum, but it would have averages all over the place. In regards to the row based, I did make some changes to my valuation function. Where was that? Here. Uh, just due to how this is laid out, your x1 position is always going to be A. Same with x2. Wherever this is in, whatever position this is in here, that's going to be your row. And then y was just the column. So if this was in 2, it would be in position 2. So you just pass that in. Much easier to check. Didn't need a check for the x position, because there were going to be no duplicate x positions. Uh, we didn't have to worry about checking for dupes at all, actually, for that matter, because the Y position catches any duplicates. If something is the same number here and down here, then it's going to. Actually, this is a perfect example right here. If there's a 7 and a 7, there's going to be that position is going to be the same on the top row and the bottom row, and it's going to line up, and that'll just cause the conflict to increase. So it's already covered. The same check for diagonals is here. And other than that, that's pretty much my findings and everything. I did this project solo, so uh, there's that. I did find that it didn't always get down to zero. I honestly think it's because our population is so small. If we increased the population, I think it could potentially get there. Other than that, thank you for listening. I think I rambled for maybe a little too long, but I hope you all have a great day. Thank you. Bye bye.